tracking and tracing are really fun ideas because they can take you to so many
That
places.
you can offer me some string and I may follow some string, but I'm not grabbing and adhering to the string and I may depart from the string. The Minotaur is one nasty beast in terms of all mythologies, and in one respect, the Minotaur is dead, and I'm dealing with its grandson again. For whatever that's used. To answer your question, do I speak in metaphor at the grocery store? Well, like, maybe it's kind of like I do. Yeah, sure, why not? You mentioned inner monologue, that we all have an inner monologue. I don't always have an inner monologue. Really. I don't. And it is possible to lose your inner monologue. As a matter of fact, the chain that connects one's inner monologue is a useful tool in one's language. But if you can, like when you were a child and you had a bicycle and you needed to put a chain on or you needed to break a chain off the bicycle, you can break that inner monologue. As a matter of fact, you can toss it out entire. You don't need to rehearse your language. And this seems to be one of the main points of Wittgenstein, and one of the main points in which I read one of the topics that I see with modern philosophers. It might even be argued as being a zombie. So at the ripe young age of 28, I lost my inner monologue. I lost my God. I lost my faith. I lost all. I lost all sense. And so, in terms of needing something or swimming, yeah, I mean, I may swim, but I don't really feel like I'm lost. I'm not found, I'm not arriving, I'm not becoming, but I'm not questing, because all of that is part of the dialectic canon. All of this is part of the big hill to climb, the big make certain you're successful for such that your genes are successful. As far as the language of confidence, it's really interesting to me that you bring up the law of excluded middle as your justification. And it's ironic that you bring this up in the same breath or the same paragraph or the same video or related video to Wittgenstein, because Wittgenstein damned the law of excluded middle, Mike. He damned it. Now, this isn't a denial of the law of excluded middle, but it's not an affirmation of it, such that, let's say, because you believe, to backtrack through what you were saying, that I am not a sharp tool in my kit. Ugh. Okay, now this presumes, first of all, that tools need to be sharp, such that if I was a spinning wheel, and that was my tool, so to speak, and you were a knife, your tool might need to be sharp, where my tool may not need to be sharp. So that language and the tools in one box, or the machinery of one item, as opposed to another, can have a different effect. And this is the point of having different types of tools. So not all tools need to be sharp, because some are sharpening the tools that need to be sharp. And you know, some tools that are dull, like a cannonball or a round pellet in an old musket, are as effective at killing as another. I noticed the recent comment on your recent video of, are you trying to test your faith? Do you need someone there to blow your brains out so that you can smile and die and make the claim, you know, the awe towards God? Anyway, what I'm getting at, because what you're mentioning seems really kind of odd to me. Yes, metaphors at grocery stores. Yes, you don't need to have an inner monologue. You may have an inner monologue. You may find that positive. Now, Wittgenstein damned the law of excluded middle, and what's really weird is that you show in your fetism video a black and white hookah, and you claim that it is green. Okay, so P or not P, but not P and not P, but P or not P is the law of excluded middle, which Wittgenstein damned. So you're stating a statement. This hookah is green, right? But it's black and white video, so if no one else is in there to verify it, what might be a language of non-confidence? A non-confident language might be where I do not trust what you're saying. I have no confidence in what you're saying. Hence, your declaration that the hookah is green and the lack of verifiability through the computer or these other things that are between minds, right, that science doesn't need to evaluate because it makes the assumption already such that my eyeball cannot see itself. Science is not going to look at what it means to be between the minds. I mean, it's not going to test other minds. It assumes other minds because we empirically move within a world that way, or we speak about what it is to move empirically between things or to talk about items between us from different vantage points. Anyway, the point is that the hookah is in black and white. So I have to at one point have confidence in you. Now, if I speak of the language of inconfidence, it's a language of not trusting you. Now, this might be why Wittgenstein damned the law of excluded middle, which leads me to believe that you don't read. You might have read the philosophical investigations, but you're not really interested in the author. You're interested in other authors that have read that author. So you're reading the secondary authors of authors to get the gist, which is fine because their perspective, their vantage point can be oh so insightful. But what's really odd is that you don't know, or you're not quoting Wittgenstein's aspect blindness. You're not quoting him damning the law of excluded middle. It's as if you didn't know about that for some reason. Now, in terms of being at the North Pole, swimming to the North Pole, well, I don't actually even want to go there. In terms of different elements, molecules, hydrogen, you got one electron, one proton, electron spinning about the proton. And at any given point, you could put a sphere in there, rotating about, showing a polarity of in and out, like I was mentioning in my last video. And not just for metaphor's sake, because there is such a thing as covalence, such that there's another negative outside of the first layer of negatives. So your need to maintain the idea that one must speak sharply and correctly and truthfully, and then you're going to hold that. The sharp language is the first covalent. All tools are sharp. You're kind of a dull tool, but I say, no, this is a matter of age, and this is a matter of dialogue. The dull tools, let's say, are on the second covalence. These are what sharpen the first covalence around a molecule, no longer a hydrogen molecule. And so, depending on how many covalents you want to go out from the central point, the central gravity, and speak about this, these are also different categories. These are different stages in which this particular frame is not going to work when we discuss this particular frame. It's simply, it's going to appear nonsensical or non-useful. Now, where to go? Let's pause and then pick up in a second. You say, Mike, in your video that my speech needs more precision. And to me, I interpret that from my vantage point that you're incapable of understanding the precision that my spinning wheel has upon your knife as you maintain a need to have sharp tools such as a knife while I'm bringing out the spinning wheel